This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Today we're joined by Boxing's master of all trades, Russ Anber, here in Manchester. Russ, first and foremost, been a while. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing? Hope everything's okay.
I'm good, thank you for asking. Let's talk about why you're here. Tommy McCarthy, big rematch with Chris Smith this weekend, European title. First fight was terrific. Think we get similar this time around?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to. I think Tommy's out on a mission to try to prove what he can do. The first fight was great between the two of them. You know, full credit to Bill Smith in that first fight because, you know, he came through a lot of adversity again in that fight, you know, and made it very, very close. And I think, you know, Tommy feels he edged it out, but it still was a very close fight, a very competitive fight. So I don't see why the second one won't be. So I think sometimes in fights like this, both guys have something to prove. You know, one has to prove that the first time he earned the decision, and the other guy has to prove that, you know, no, you didn't. And so it sometimes makes for a better fight. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Tommy's such a good kid. I really enjoy it. It's my first time working with him, and I'm glad they brought me in because I like the kid and I like the way he fights, and I'm gonna be proud to be part of that.
In the build-up to the first fight, there was a lot of needle and a lot of back and forth, a bit of bad feeling, but we've seen today very respectful between them. Is that sort of testament to the bond that can be built when you've shared those tough rounds together?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I can't speak on what happened in the first fight because I didn't follow it that close. I just happened to watch the fight. You know, I was actually in Belfast when the fight happened. I was watching it on TV. So I don't know what went on in that fight, but yesterday they crossed each other in the lobby at the hotel, you know, and it was very respectful. And listen, you know what the other guy, now all that verbal diarrhea, you know, kind of goes out the window because you've shared the 12 rounds, you know, you've gone at it toe to toe. There is a certain amount of respect, and you know the guy in front of you is a real man in both cases. So personally, I always hate that stuff, you know, where people are beaking all the time, beaking, because the facts are that 50% of the time somebody's wrong, you know. So I don't like it. If guys can earn the respect by what they do in the ring, to me, that's the most important thing.
Busy times coming up for you. I know you work with Liam Beefy Smith quite a lot. Are you going to be going out for his fight?
Yeah. I'm leaving. I'll be going to New York on Thursday, so I go home on Sunday after this fight, and then off to New York with Beefy. I just saw Declan here as well, so we're all arriving at the same time on Thursday, the 21st. So I'm looking forward to New York. New York's always a great place to be for the fights. You know, there's a certain amount of history that goes on there. So yeah, and I love working with Beefy. So he's my style of fighter. You know, like that's the kind of fighter that I like to be involved with, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, New York, here we come.
Liam's talked about, you know, he's had these big UK nights. We saw the Fowler fight was a brilliant atmosphere over here, but he's always wanted that US trip. He's finally got his big fight. Jesse Vargas, a big name as well. Knowing him on a personal level, how delighted are you that he's finally got what he wanted?
Yeah, I'm really thrilled about it, you know, and I think it couldn't be a better place to get it than at Madison Square Garden. And I've worked with Jesse Vargas in the past as well, so I know just how good Jesse is, and I know that this is going to be a tough fight, but I think the matchup in this is phenomenal. Like, this is a style that's going to be great for both guys. Like, this can't help but be a great fight. So I just want to make sure that, you know, you don't want to be starting late. You don't want to be taking it easy. You don't want to be taking things for granted. Jesse Vargas can fight. Liam's going to have to come out to fight. You know, he's going to have to take it to him, win the rounds, be convincing in doing so. You know, and not having the comfort of your home crowd, you know, going out there doing what it is that you have to do. I think he's coming off a great high in the Fowler win, so he just has to keep riding that momentum and take in what Madison Square Garden has to offer and leave his mark in the Garden.
Obviously, you've been noted for your work with Oleksandr Usyk and Vasyl Lomachenko. A tough time for them with what's going on in Ukraine. I understand Vasyli's still out there. Oleksandr Usyk has gone out to training camp. From what you've heard from the team and the guys around them, how are they all doing, all things considered?
Well, all things considered, as well as can be expected, I guess. You know, I was talking to Egis Klimas's manager, and, you know, they're setting up camp now and getting ready to go, and we're waiting on a confirmation for a date. So let's see what happens. But I'm sure that they understand, you know, especially Usyk, that they're not taking this lightly and that they're going in, and if they enter the ring and they're preparing to go to camp, it's because they're preparing to get ready. So I don't have any worry about that at all. I'm just more concerned from a mental aspect of making sure that he said his family is good, his family's out, everyone's safe. So as long as he doesn't have that preoccupation in camp, you know, I think he'll be good, and I think he'll prepare. I'm going to find it hard for him to be as as funny, if you will, and as laid back as he is usually, because that's certainly going to be on his mind, like it is on all our minds of what's going on over there. It's not pleasant, and humans and civilians shouldn't have to go through that in this day and age. And it's my heart goes out to what's going on, and I wish there was more that the world could do to help them.
I second that. It's a horrible situation we're seeing over there. We are waiting for the date for that rematch. As you mentioned, Oleksandr is going into camp. With Anthony Joshua and style-wise going into the rematch, how do you think Anthony can and will change?
I don't know. I think everyone was criticizing Anthony for his game plan, if you will. Where he was trying to outbox. Listen, after 8 rounds, the fight was even. There was a fight, and so that you can't say that the whole plan was terrible. To make it as simplistic as he needed to go out there and impose his size and knock Usyk out. Okay, that's a great strategy, theoretically, but to apply that against somebody like the talent of Usyk is not that easy. So I think there's going to, at some point, he may have to take chances. He's probably going to have to take chances, try to impose his side, and I think that Usyk is going to be expecting that. I think Usyk might have even been prepared for that the first time. There's limited options as to what he's going to be able to do, and I think that Usyk will be prepared for that. There's no doubt that Anthony has the size, he's got the power. He's going to take it to him. He wants to build on that. Is it going to be successful is one thing. It's hard to, it's great to have a plan, but to impose it on somebody who's as talented as Usyk is not necessarily going to be that easy. So it's one of those fights that's going to make for a classic rematch style fight. So how can you not be looking forward to that?
A couple of quick fight predictions before I let you go. Another terrific fight in the States this weekend. We've got Spence Ugas, 3 belts on the line. Who wins and how?
Look, I think the momentum is with Spence, but I think he has a lot to prove. Ugas is a tough fight. It's stylistically a very difficult fight. Will the judges be, gracious with him? We don't know. He sometimes has a style that's difficult to score. But Spence. I credit to Ugas for taking on somebody as talented as Spence, because Spence can punch. He's complete. He's solid. I think the edge has to go to Spence a little bit, so I'm going to lean a little bit towards Spence.
And last one, big weekend next weekend for the heavyweight division. We've got Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte at Wembley Stadium, 94,000 people. How do you see that fight playing out, Russ?
Look, I'm trying to find a way that Whyte wins this fight, and unless Fury has just completely not shown up or not trained or whatever, his overall athletic abilities, what he can do in the ring, his athleticism, even though he doesn't look the part, he's so slippery. He's not. This guy would have been a difficult fight for any fighter in history. At his best, training right, this guy is a difficult fight for any heavyweight in boxing history. So I think he's proven that he has the heart and the ability and got through somebody who no other heavyweight got through in Deontay Wilder. So I can't see him losing to Dillian Whyte.
All right, Russ, good luck this weekend, and thank you as always for speaking to Boxing Social.